The world has edges, places where the map seems to falter, where the logic of geography dissolves into something older, something darker, and something infinitely more strange. We are told that the Earth is explored, that every corner has been catalogued, measured, and tamed. But there are still islands of silence. There are still fortresses of stone where the rules of the modern world do not apply. We are drifting now over the Grand Sabana. Beneath us, a sea of emerald grass stretches into the haze, an ocean of green broken only by the winding scars of iron-red rivers. But on the horizon, the sky is bruised. A wall is rising. It does not slope. It does not peak. It erupts. A monolithic block of sheer vertical rock, tearing through the cloud layer, floating above the rainforest like a severed continent. This is not a mountain, it is a tepui, a house of the gods in the tongue of the Pimon people, who have lived in its shadow for millennia. This is Mount RoraIma. To understand this place, you must first understand time. The rock that faces us now is not the rock of the Alps or the Himalayas. It is not the jagged young stone of a world still forming. This is sandstone from the Precambrian era, 2 billion years old. These cliffs were standing here before the Atlantic Ocean opened its mouth. They stood here before the dinosaurs drew their first breath. They stood here when life on Earth was nothing more than microscopic slime in a primordial soup. This is the skeleton of the planet. As we move closer, the scale becomes oppressive. The walls rise 400 meters straight up, a vertical limit that has baffled explorers for centuries. Clouds do not float above RoraIma. They collide with it. They break against its prow like waves against a ship. The mountain creates its own weather, a perpetual engine of storm and mist. We descend toward the base. The transition is violent. The open savanna dies, strangled by a ring of dense, ancient rainforest that clings to the foot of the cliffs. This is the rampart. To climb to the roof of the world, one must first navigate the basement of hell. The air here is thick, heavy with the scent of rotting vegetation and wet earth. The humidity is absolute. Every step is a battle against the mud. The roots of massive trees weave a chaotic net, a trap for the careless. This jungle is an evolutionary relic, a pocket of biodiversity cut off from the rest of the Amazon. The light barely touches the ground here. It is a twilight world, defined by the sound of dripping water and the hum of unseen insects. But the eyes are drawn upward, always upward. Through the canopy, the black wall of the Tepui looms, blocking out half the sky. It is a constant reminder of the impossibility of the task. We are climbing a skyscraper built by erosion. The ascent changes. The dirt gives way to loose scree, sharp stones that slide and crumble. We are on the ramp. The only natural fissure in the fortress wall, a diagonal scar that allows passage to the summit. The angle becomes severe. The jungle thins, replaced by twisted, stunted shrubs that clutch the rock for stability. The wind begins to howl, a low, mournful note that vibrates through the chest. Here, the water begins to fall, not in streams, but in veils, vaporizing before it hits the ground. We are walking through the breadth of the mountain, and then the ledge, the final heave over the lip of the abyss. We step onto the summit. Silence. It is the silence of a vacuum. The wind stops for a heartbeat, and the world we knew, the green world, the loud world, the hot world, is gone. We have stepped onto the surface of another planet. The ground is black, scoured, blackened sandstone, carved by 2 billion years of rain into labyrinthine shapes. There is no soil here. There are no trees. It is a landscape of sculptures, abstract and terrifying. Stone pagodas, melting clocks of rock, arches that defy gravity. It looks like a graveyard of giants. But look closer at the ground. It glitters. We are walking on diamonds. Not real diamonds, but clear quartz crystals. Millions of them. Carpeting the valley floor. In any other place on Earth, this would be a mine. Here, it is just dirt. A valley of crystals that crunches underfoot. A display of opulence that no human hand was meant to touch. The mist rolls in. On RoraIma, the weather changes not by the hour, but by the minute. A sunny vista is swallowed by a freezing fog in seconds. The temperature plummets. We are near the equator, yet the air bites with the chill of a high-altitude winter. In this hostile, wet, barren rockscape, life should not exist, and yet it does. But it is life that has forgotten how to be normal. Kneel down on the black rock. There, a tiny motion. It is a toad, pitch black, no larger than a thumb. Oreophrynella quelchi, the RoraIma bush toad. It does not hop, it cannot hop. If it hopped on this treacherous, wind-swept summit, it would likely fall into a crevasse or blow off the edge of the world. So, over millions of years, it has learned to walk. It crawls slowly, deliberately, like an old man. It exists nowhere else in the universe but on these few square kilometers of stone. It is a prisoner of the sky. Nearby, a splash of red against the gray. The pitcher plant, Heliamphora. It is beautiful, elegant, and deadly. In a world without soil, there are no nutrients to be found in the ground, so the plants have turned to murder. The pitcher is filled with sweet nectar and rainwater. Insects, drawn by the scent, slip on the waxy rim and fall into the digestive enzymes below. This is a garden of carnivores. Every flower is a stomach. We move deeper into the plateau. The landscape becomes more fractured. Great chasms open up in the rock, revealing underground rivers that rush through darkness. These are the veins of the mountain. The water here is some of the purest on Earth, filtered through miles of quartzite. It carves vast cave systems beneath our feet, cathedrals of crystal that have never seen the sun. The moor returns. The fog clears for a brief window, and we approach the edge, the precipice. Standing here, looking down, the brain struggles to process the depth. The jungle below looks like moss. The clouds are far beneath our feet, drifting like lazy sheep. There is a sense of vertigo that is not just physical, but existential. We are separated from the earth by a wall of air. This is the inspiration for the lost world. Standing here, it is easy to see why. If a pterodactyl were to rise from the mist, soaring on the thermal currents, it would not feel out of place. It would feel inevitable. This is the triple border. Somewhere in this stone labyrinth, the invisible lines of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana meet. But up here, nations are a fiction. Borders are lines drawn on paper by men who have never touched this rock. RoraIma belongs to no country. It belongs to the deep time of geology. Night falls rapidly on the Tepui. The shadows lengthen, turning the stone sculptures into monsters. The temperature drops near freezing. The sky clears, revealing a canopy of stars so bright they hurt the eyes. In the darkness, the wind picks up again. It screams through the rock arches. It is the sound of a place that does not want us here. We will leave or we will die, and the mountain will remain. The clouds begin to gather again below, sealing the island off from the world. This is the floating island, a reminder that we are small, and the world is vast and ancient and wonderfully, terrifiedly wild.